What's up, people? Welcome back to Invest with T-Claus. My name is Tevi, and this channel is dedicated to my investment journey, along with coverage on crypto, Tesla, Neo, Virgin Galactic, and ChargePoint. Come for the information and stay for the perspective. So Virgin Galactic took us on a wild ride this week with a ridiculously high single-day gain of just over 30%. I mean, look at that chart. At this point, it would be easy to think that the stock was finally launching again and we were heading to the moon. But as the week went on, it all fizzled away. We ended up closing the week with a loss of 0.84%. So what happened? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. And I'll tell you what helped us see such an exaggerated single-day move, what caused the trend reversal, what I personally did about it, and finally, what can be reasonably expected as we move forward. As always, this isn't to be taken as financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is my personal approach to investing and the thought process behind it. I'd recommend watching all the way through so that you don't miss out on any pertinent information I'll be sharing. Drop the video an early like if you haven't already, and hit that subscribe button. Those are two easy ways to show your support to the channel and help it grow if you appreciate the content. All right, let's get into it. Well then, with the earning call next week on Tuesday the 22nd, it would be easy to say that the pop in price is tied to the enthusiasm around that and what we might hear, right? Not to mention, it's not uncommon for stocks to rally the week prior to their earning call. That may have helped some, but it's really not the reason behind it. You have to remember what narratives are currently at play and driving the market. 1, Fed rate hikes, how many are we going to get? 2, inflation, will it run out of control or be tamed? 3, geopolitical, will Russia invade Ukraine? And don't worry, I'll get to how this all relates back to Virgin Galactic and impacts it in a moment, so stay with me. The first two narratives haven't really seen any positive news, so it really can't be tied to that. However, on the geopolitical front, we saw the headlines of President Biden talking President Putin off of the ledge last weekend. That was pushed heavily in the news throughout the weekend, and as a result, we came into the week with a positive macro outlook and market opened higher across the board. Now, for Virgin Galactic specifically, you can add this note here. Take a listen.
So Virgin Galactic is reportedly going to open up reservations to go to space. You can make an initial deposit of 150 grand. Ticket sales open tomorrow, so make sure you're lined up there. And reservations that you put down your $150,000 deposit, and then the total cost will be $450,000. What do you get? You get a 90-minute space flight, which includes, quote, several minutes of out-of-seat waitlessness. And it looks like that they are going to sign up 1,000 customers to start commercial service later this year. So the shares are taking flight as well this morning.
So there you have it. Confirmation of ticket sales opening again is great news. And when you put the two together and consider how beaten down Virgin Galactic has been, you get this relief rally with an exaggerated move to the upside. But of course, it's not sustainable because nothing fundamental has really changed. And so it's really a move purely driven by traders. It's your typical pump and dump, right? Now, if this would have happened in a bull market, or at least in a more favorable macro environment, we should have been able to hold on to a portion of that pop. Unfortunately for us, as the week went on, the macro environment deteriorated, and what started as great news on a geopolitical front hit a hard reversal. And that was only amplified as the week went on, with finally Friday this headline dropping. And if you're wondering why markets even care about this, it literally boils down to the cost of energy. Russia just so happens to be a key supplier for crude oil and natural gas. Basically, if you have to cut out one of your major suppliers because they're attacking an ally nation, you're only exacerbating supply chain related inflation tied to energy on a global scale. But that's not all that brought us back down to earth. Beyond the macro news, Chamath Palihapitiya has now stepped down from his chairman of the board position at Virgin Galactic, and that was effective immediately on Thursday. Take a listen.
He sold the remainder of his personal stake almost a year ago. That was worth about $200 million at the time in March. However, Social Capital is still one of the top 3 shareholders in Virgin Galactic. What's perhaps so notable about this news today is how quietly it's happening and how abruptly it's happening, given the fact that Palihapitiya is stepping down effective immediately. And Aaron Lavelle, who is Virgin Group's chief investment officer and a longtime board member, has been with the board since 2017, is basically taking over as an interim chair as the company now searches for a new chairman. It comes in a very busy week for Virgin Galactic as well after the company opened ticket sales to the general public earlier this week. You actually saw the stock spike more than 30% on that news. It's largely given up those gains. And now, just today, it's down another 7% on this Palihapitiya news. It's down almost 83% over the past year. And it really speaks to, more broadly, guys, as you touched on, just how hard hit the broader SPAC sector is. Virgin Galactic is really the name that popularized this type of investment vehicle in 2019. But Palihapitiya also was indicative of the longer term. He was very outspoken about the longer term bull case for this company, which is point-to-point travel, supersonic travel. But that's something we can get into more later at another time.
So of course, losing one of your most outspoken investors is going to generate a buzz. And it probably didn't help that every article and news coverage made it a point to highlight the fact that he sold out his entire personal stake. That no doubt injected some fears and concerns with investors. But to be fair, if you listened long enough and read through every article tied to the topic, they always cover the fact that it was over a year ago. What you need to realize though is that Chamath sold his personal stake not just in Virgin Galactic and a few other companies he has helped bring to market, but also in Tesla. The reason for selling is so that he could raise enough capital for this new climate change investment he's pursuing, and that isn't anything that we didn't already know about, especially if you've been following the stock closely. About the move to step down, Virgin Galactic CEO Michael Colglazier made it clear that this wasn't tied to any disagreement and issued the following statement. Chamath was instrumental in the launch of Virgin Galactic as a public company, and as an integral chair, his deep and astute insights have been incredibly valuable. We've always known that the time would come when he would shift his focus to new projects and pursuits. End of quote. So as it stands, I don't view this as anything different than bringing on a new team member that can focus on Virgin Galactic and its path forward as they continue to march towards commercial flight later this year. And with that, you now know why we went all the way up and then came back crashing down. But what does it all mean? Should you now be selling like everybody else is apparently, or hold? Personally, I bought more shares on Friday, and that's 100 more to be exact. And the reason I bought it is pretty simple. At sub $10, this continues to be a golden opportunity to bring my average down. I'm planning to hold Virgin Galactic for at least another couple of years, and ultimately, I firmly believe that the price at a minimum will double from current level once commercial flight starts later this year in Q3, Q4. I mean, think about it. If simply announcing that ticket sales are reopening with the first 1,000 passengers was enough to move the stock by 30% in a single day, what do you think happens when we start actually flying those passengers at a regular cadence and they're paying $450K a pop for those seats? In the end, here's my perspective on Virgin Galactic and what I expect happens from here on out. We currently have 4 ratings on the stock with 2 sales, 1 buy and 1 hold. The consensus places the median target price at $15, and that's with expectations that it could go as high as $24, which I think is conservative, or could end the year as low as $10, which I think is very unlikely unless something catastrophic happens. In my opinion, there is no scenario in which the macro backdrop improves in any kind of meaningful way before mid-March. The main reason being that the next Fed meeting is on March 15th. Coming out of that is when we'll finally hear when we are actually going to see the first rate hike and by what amount. Once we clear that hurdle, all this posturing that economists and financial analysts have been doing with outlandish expectations of as high as 9 rate hikes will get squashed. Again, that's just my opinion. It's great for selling the news and keeping markets from rallying too far too fast, but it's simply not realistic. Now, once we're through the Fed meeting, market will need a week to digest the information. That will bring us right up to wrapping up tax season, which will cause some rotation and portfolio rebalancing activities for the broader market. And once we're done with all that, that's when I expect that the macro backdrop gets overly favorable. Assuming that we hear that Virgin Galactic is still on track for a Q4 launch during Tuesday's earnings call, that's my expectation, I think that we start our slow but steady climb post-Fed meeting. Now, the closer we get to commercial flight, the higher the stock price will go. And so the bottom line for me is this. The more shares I can accumulate sub $10, the higher my returns later this year will be. As it stands, I'm fairly confident that Virgin Galactic alone will return between 100 to 300% for me this year. At the end of the day, if you're waiting for analysts in the market broadly to give you the all clear signals before you start adding, you most likely have already missed out on the majority of the run-up. Something to think about. And on that note, I'll leave it here for today. I'll drop highlights of the call on my Twitter account during the week, so make sure to follow me there as well. Also worth noting is that next week is likely going to be a pretty volatile week for crypto, given what could be coming out of the White House in the form of an executive order. So brace yourself for that and make a plan. Personally, I see some great opportunities for entry points or accumulation heading our way. Now, don't forget to drop the video a like if you enjoy the content and share with others who you think could benefit from it. For my newcomers, subscribe and don't forget to ring the notification bell so that you stay in the know. As a reminder, I post every Sunday, and as time allows, target 1 additional in-week video for more crypto-focused content. Thank you for watching, stay humble, hustle hard, and I'll see you in the next one.